I feel a lot better about everything. We were able to identify the things that I need to do. You kept me on track. You realized the things that I'm kind of going through. We're able to relate to all the feelings that I'm feeling. I'll be honest, I feel a lot better. I know what it is that I need to do, and that's essentially what I needed. So, and you're a really, really cool dude. I'm enjoying talking to you. It's been a good time, and I might just call back just to call back.
He there, man. There you go.
Talking to you was a lot more helpful. How are you going about hiring the good director?
Follow me. Then this is the channel for you. You go. It's pretty cool, huh?
How I guess you could say picky are you when it comes to hiring these directors?
Extremely, because I failed 98% of the time.
So like during the screening process, you're picky. It's like next interview, or is it more like hired and then got to get another one? Then they're hired, they got to get another one. Like how are you going about hiring the good director?
Yeah, you're either going to hire someone in-house or someone brand new that you've, through interview process, right? I interviewed Brian Dupree. He wrote the book Childcare Millionaire, and that's on my YouTube as well. And one of the things he talked about was building his farm club, right? Hiring within. So I hope that I'm never in a position where I'm tempted to hire a director that I haven't worked with before. I hope that she has got some computer skills. I struggle not having a director that can't manage Google Docs and emails and be able to move some stuff around on your computer screen. Those were my first two gals that I hired outside because it was hard for me to try to evaluate their tech ability. Because I have a lot of micromanaging components of our program. I've promoted some in-house that wanted that for the wrong reason. They were burnt out of the classroom. They thought, oh, I'd rather go do admin. I'd rather just be the boss or be a supervisor, right? And then I don't have to work in the classroom for 8 hours a day. That doesn't always work. So, man, hiring to create the step-by-step system on hiring the right director, that is a book I would love to be able to write. If you re-interviewed the director you have right now today, there's questions you would ask her today that you didn't know to ask her when you put her in that position. True?
Yeah.
Yeah. So wouldn't you like a redo? The fact is you can have a redo. You don't want to let her go right now because if you do, then you have to go sit in that seat. What do you do with that position now that person that's at a 40 or 60% proficiency level? Figure out what they're capable of and what they're not. You got to, and you know some of that. You don't know all of it probably because you haven't pushed her hard enough, and I've been there. And so ask yourself, do you have a job position for them? Do you have those responsibilities? And have you sat down and evaluated those different responsibilities, how well she's doing? How well is she supporting your teachers? How well is she, creating accountability when it comes to cleanliness in your program? How well is she communicating with parents? Is she doing billing? Is she doing collections? Is she making those phone calls? Is she staffing your program properly? If she's in charge of the staff schedule, is she handling call-offs? Or are your staff frustrated with her? Or do they feel like she's the queen bee and she's rocking? And you just see some things that you'd like to get out of her that you're not. Have you evaluated her? And then are you ready to sit down with her and have that real talk and say, hey, Janistine, you've been here for, let's say, 3 months. And maybe you ask her to evaluate herself on those categories. So she's given herself 8s, 9s, and 10s. You look over to your left on your side, you gave her 4s, 6s, and 7s. And then you just got to have those talks. But maybe there's a possibility that she needs to be told, I am looking for someone that can operate at 9s and 10s at these levels. And I feel like you have that potential, but we're not there today. I am looking for someone. I don't know if there's someone in-house that you could promote. And oftentimes when you do that and you demote this person, they're out. They're out, or their attitude just goes to the tank and there's no recovery for them. So I've seen that. So that's a risk, but there's also a greater risk keeping her in that spot. But I've been there and I've kept them in that spot typically while I look for that next person. And maybe she becomes an assistant director or an assistant administrator. And then you create some training for her so she can get stronger in those areas that she's weak in. You have to be able to tell them anything and everything. If you can't, they're gonna go. She gonna go. She's just not gone yet. That's a deal breaker. You've got to be able to enjoy working across the desk from her. So we're working together on stuff. Now, you don't have to do that to be successful.
I'll work until the thing fails, or if it's successful, but I'll like that whole the passion I had. I'm not good at what I thought I was good at. I thought, okay, I got a waiting list here at the house, and I got 2-3 teachers and great care. Lulu's bringing me the people, but now that with these restrictions and the marketing, this isn't working, and I'm at a point now. I'm like, okay, I'm not the entrepreneur guy who thought I could do it. I'm finding myself cracking sooner than I thought. And I don't like giving that energy to parents, because sometimes parents can see it. So to answer your question, if it's like, hey, you got to be there for 7 hours to do these 7 things, I'll do whatever it is that what I need to do. I'll do the best that I can. But I'll be honest, like me stepping in there, trying to figure it out myself and saying, this is what I got to do, and this is what's going to work. I'm not that guy. And I'm realizing that, I do need help. So to answer your question, yeah, I could, if there's something I needed to do specifically, like, hey, Lash, you got to do these things, and this is going to take you 4 hours a day, every day of the week, and stay busy doing that. I'll do that thing.
Yeah. It sounds like you thought you were that guy. You went in there. Now we've hit some roadblocks. There's some doubt in there a little bit, frustration. Like, what am I doing? What I get myself into? I get that. Here's my thought back to the staff is, if you want to go salvage that program, salvage it so you can turn it around. It's probably only you that's got to get in there. And what you do is you get in there and you just start talking to staff. That's what you do for that 1 hour, 4 hours. And it's not 4 hours a day, but these new staff that they hired, talk to them. Talk to them, build those relationships. Talk to your director so that they see you as a hands-on individual. And you're going to learn when you start talking to those staff and you start building that relationship and that trust, they're going to start talking to you. And you're going to figure out so much about your program. Because I just had a meeting with 2 staff yesterday, and they asked to meet with me because they're a little bit frustrated over a meeting that they were involved with. It was really kind of their co-teachers. And as I listened to them talk to me, I'm like, boy, this gal right here, this Kelsey gal, she's smart. She's smart. She takes initiative. She's not just going to sit by if something's not working. She needs to be a little bit more coachable. And you start learning about the strengths and weaknesses of the staff that you have. Your staff that Jasmine or whoever your director hired, right? And all of a sudden you start building these relationships, and that's maybe how you find that next director that wants to work with you, because I don't care if it's 5 minutes that you're in there with them. You give them a bathroom break and you're just visiting. Hey, is there anything you need? If your director then becomes jealous and feels like you're stepping over her, again, that's just a power struggle. If she's threatened by you being there, asking her, hey, what can I do for you? Do you need anything? How's this going? Can I do this for you? And then you're doing the same thing with the teachers. You're on a secret mission, in my opinion, to figure out who needs to stay, who needs to go. and who that next director is. Because that director might be 22 years old without corporate experience, but she's been in early childhood since she was 16, and she's learned from some really good people, got great communication skills. Because you gotta be able to have good communication with whoever that person is at the top. You still got to get in there enough to figure out who you can trust in there to run that. I'd be just talking to staff, and it can just start slow, and you just have a little bit more presence. But it doesn't have to be 4 hours a day. It could just be presence, that they know that they can come to you if they need something. Because if they start having concerns with your director, you want them to know that they can reach out to you.